Ryan Cars, welcome back. I'm just pulling out of the car wash. Quick rinse before I went home. It's been rainy and we got a really muddy driveway. I had to basically get mud out of my tires, out of my wheels, and my wheel wells. It was caked on there pretty good. So I've been, the Pontiac Laurentian. I got to get home for supper, but it's right there. Did you see it just go by? Yeah. There was no phone number on it. It's got 2 for sale signs on it. I gotta knock on the door, but every time I'm in town, from like early in the morning, nobody's awake kind of thing, and then late at night, and I had to get the mud out of the wheels and wheel wells because I gotta drive all over the country the next few days. I got a bus run tomorrow, the next day, and I'm actually taking the car in for service on Friday. So today's Tuesday. I have another friend on YouTube. If you've been watching for a while, you know this. He's got a YouTube channel. It's called Behind the Wheel Experience. We've been friends for a long time. And we actually met because we both had... I think I showed up at work one day. We're doing a security job. And I just got to talking with the guy, and I was driving I don't know, it was like a 1979 Volvo 244 DL or something. And it was like the second day in the job, and I had to sit with him in the car. We were doing a beer strike. And he asked me about the car. And we got to talking about cars. And been friends ever since. So he's got his YouTube channel. Check it out. Probably put the link in the description. Maybe the comments this time. I'm learning everybody's doing the links in the comments if they want somebody to read it, right? So yeah, maybe I'll do that this time. However, so what happens is I'll send him pictures of cars over text that I see. Like there was the Fiat that I came across. Maybe you saw that at the end of one of my videos. I don't know if I posted it or not. Then I found this Pontiac Laurentian, and I sent him the text for it today. Just the pictures. And he goes, "Ooh, nice find. You know, maybe you should adopt it." And I was like, yeah, you know, it'd be nice, but I was reading for prices online for that stuff. And in the last video, I said I was going to be doing that, and I did it, and I thought that the Star Chief was going to be, you know, the Star Chief was a lot of money, so as, you know, when I read about the Star Chief, one had sold for like 60-something thousand at auction. The average price for one that's in good shape, or, you know, everything has been done on it, sort of thing, and it's a good-looking car, sort of thing, $25,000. And I just threw in, you know, price for the Pontiac Star Chief in Alberta, and it said average price they'll go between 10 and 16,000 or something like that for, you know, your basic Star Chief, so Canadian. And so I plugged in the Laurentian after I did that video, and wow, was I surprised. So it just gave me numbers for the US, basically, like North America. It it had less information about it. So they sell between, there was one at the bringyourtrailer.com, it was like 60,000 or something. Then I said average price for a Laurentian, and it said 50,000, and I was like, what? Then I read up a little bit about it. So the Canadian don't have the wide body or the wide wheelbase or whatever that the Americans had, right? It wasn't a real Pontiac. So people called it, well, it was a Pontiac with the inside, the interior, the inner workings of it were a Chevy. And I think they called it a Chevyac, which was common. And they showed, the wheelbase and how it differs on the cars. And it came with a small, like a V6 thing, 262 or something. I can't remember the number. I'm not up to snuff on those old motors. Whereas they make fun of that, the Canadian versions in the U.S. because the U.S. they all have the V8s and the wide track. And when you put that car next to the Canadian version of it, very noticeable, very awkward looking car. Like the wheels are literally hidden underneath the car. And as a kid, I always wondered that because I'd see European cars, and I'd see race cars and stuff, but European cars, and the tires and the wheel wells, there wasn't that much, the tires were at the edges of the wheel wells sort of thing. And every time I'd see an old American car, the big boats from the 60s and 70s, there was all this room from the edge of the wheel well till the tire came. And I always wondered why they make cars like that. The domestics, I always wondered why they make cars, like that. Like it looks ugly, it looks weird, looks whatever. And like just aesthetically, as a kid not knowing anything about cars, I would just go, hey, that's ugly. Because the tires look like they're like, inside, underneath the car, they're literally hidden. Like if you were standing next to the car and you look down, you can't see any wheels. All you see is this fender, wheel well opening, and then no tire, right? Always thought that odd. But now after looking up that Laurentian, I get it. The Canadian versions of cars like that always got a different, I guess from GM, I guess. I'm not sure. Dodge is like that, I guess. But, instead of giving it all Pontiac stuff, they just put Chevy things in it, and it didn't quite fit, but it fit good enough, sort of thing. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. I'm keeping this one really short, and I'll see you in the next one.